Hey guys, JC Smith here. Well, today I did a live stream. I was headed out with a truck and I was going to go look at a trailer. And I live streamed the whole way there. I live streamed myself looking the trailer over, checking its condition, checking to make sure it'll suit my needs. And then the owner showed up and we negotiated. I bought the trailer and I live streamed bringing it home. So some of you guys didn't catch that, so for those of you who don't, I'm going to bring you up to speed to where I'm at. You've been hearing me talk for months about how I want to find a 1-ton crew cab, four-wheel drive dually, okay? And I want to be able to travel around to pick up trucks. I love trucks. I have some trucks I want to collect, some trucks I'd like to do some projects with, and I need a way to get it because I've been fighting with transport companies on getting trucks delivered when I buy them. It's been like this for years. So I went to look for a specific trailer. Now I could have bought a 40-foot gooseneck trailer, just a traditional 40-footer, flat deck, over top of the wheels, built conventionally with I-beams. The problem is that trailer's going to weigh twice as much as this, okay? And what I'm trying to do is keep my truck, trailer, and load under 26,000 pounds. It makes life so much simpler. So that's where this trailer comes into an attractive point for me. It is an engineered frame. This is not a traditional I-beam or C-channel or anything like that. You can see its angle on the bottom, its angle on the top with supports. That trailer is meant to flex. So I searched for this trailer particularly. Now, this trailer is not new. I bought it used. It's had very little use. It's very straight. And what I found with this trailer, when I initially started looking for these trailers, is they only offered this tandem axle for a short amount of time. They went to a tri-axle. Now, I didn't want a tri-axle because a tri-axle means several things. It means another axle, which is a lot more weight. It means, you know, just the axle itself, the leaf springs, the hardware, and then 2 more tires. And then it also means that the GVW is higher. I don't need that. I have a heavy enough truck that I should be able to put one truck forward, another truck on, and have my weight dispersed perfectly. The absolute goal is to have 9,000 pounds of weight on the rear axle, 7,000 on each one of these. That's 14 plus the 9. You get where we're going. I'm well within my limits. Ideally, I want to be under 26,000 pounds from front to back. Now, that's going to be tough with diesel trucks, but with gasoline trucks, 2-wheel drive trucks, you know, some of that kind of stuff, it'll be easy. So I just have to be kind of cautious of what I'm doing and what I'm buying. Alright, so let's go over the trailer. It's made by Kaufman Manufacturing. I've owned their trailers. I've owned many of their trailers. What's attractive about it is you see how the back is made. The ramps sit right on top of here to where you can get even the lowest low-profile car on it, which really doesn't matter to me because I don't buy cars. I don't want anything to do with cars. The ramp's still in the back. I've got it tucked underneath the fifth-wheel camper here just to get it in the driveway so I can leave one side of the driveway open. The ramp's still in the middle. They got I believe these are 28-inch runners, 28 inches wide. They have 235, 80, 16 tires. They're load range E's. I'm going to be replacing these tires. That one's got a split in the sidewall. This one's got cracking in the tires, in the tread. And the other two are basically the same. They're basically aged. They didn't wear out. They just dry rotted from not being used. So I'll replace these, and I'm not sure if I'll put 17.5s on it this time or if I'll see how the 16s will do. The 235 80 16s are rated at, I think, 3,520 pounds a piece, okay, which is, the axle's good for 7,000. I may go with the heavier 17.5 tires because I'll get more miles out of them. These are like a 30,000 mile tire, 20 to 30,000, and they wear out. They're just a cheap trailer tire. The ones I'm looking at, it wouldn't be nothing to get probably 60,000 miles out of them. So I may do that. Now, I'll keep going with the trailer. I'll come back to the axles. So you see the way it's built. It's an engineered frame. Okay, it's designed that right here in its weakest point. Okay, it's basically midway from here to the front of that axle. Okay, so that's where most of the flex is going to happen. So you see what they've done. They've gone one way with their bracing and then the other. Okay, the trailer is built to carry, I think on their website it says 12,500 pounds. And that's with 2,500 pounds, 5,000 pounds of kingpin weight, which is cool because that's kingpin weight means on the rear axle. Alright, there's a lot of benefits to this to me. One thing that's not a benefit is there's no winch. Okay, so what we'll do here is I will take a piece of truck frame and I will lay a piece of truck frame underneath this in here, this full width, which would be like 9.5. I'll bring it across here and I'll go underneath this side of this runner, and then I'll mount the winch here, and then I'll take a brace from the front of the frame down to what they call the torque tube here. This torque tube runs the distance, the length of the trailer to the front axles. That is supposed to help take out some of this side to side. Okay, we got double 10,000 pound spring loaded drop leg jacks, which is really nice. The fifth wheel setup that I chose, what I've done is I bought this plate. This will be better here. Alright, this plate was originally designed for short bed trucks. It's meant that you could turn it the opposite way that I have it and get the gooseneck farther away from the cab of the truck, which is up this way. Okay, so it gives you just a few inches. If you can tell, it's off center by 2 inches right there. Okay, so if you flip it the other way, it would give you 2 inches that way. Actually, I guess it'd be 4 inches total that way. Okay, so what this means to me is, the reason this is important is when you're pushing a truck and trailer combination this close to its desired capacity, like I want to be at 26,000 and I don't want more than 9,200 pounds, I think, on this rear axle total. So I have it set like this. So what happens is by moving that forward 2 inches from center, which these rails are already set up that if that ball was in the center of that plate, we would be 1 inch ahead of the center of the rear axle. So now we're basically about 3 inches forward, if you follow what I'm saying. Okay, so if I'm getting close to where I think I'm going to be having near maximum weight on the drives and not enough on the steers, what this does is it transfers a little bit of that weight. Just those couple inches, you'd be surprised. That will transfer a good amount of weight to the front steer tires. I think the truck's locked. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, so the truck shows the rear axle to be 9,350 pounds. So basically, I don't want to be over 9,350 pounds of weight on that axle. So I'm going to take advantage of that. I want as much weight on the rear of this as I can get so that I'm not overweight on my axles. Because if I run through a weigh station, and if that's 93 and the front one's probably 4,000 or thereabouts, I can't be over 4,000, I can't be over 93 or whatever those numbers were, and I can't be over 7,000 or 7,000. So it's a very fine line of trying to get the load done correctly to where we're set up right and the load is where I want it. So that's why I have that plate like that. Now, I would prefer to use fifth wheel, and that because I have an 18,000 pound fifth wheel that pivots side to side and front and back. Okay, and I have an adapter. I could put a fifth wheel kingpin right in here. I'm not going to use that because with my fifth wheel and a kingpin plate, it'll make me too high, and if the trailer is nose up, okay, and it's not sitting level when it's loaded, then what happens is it's like a fulcrum effect. Okay, so back here, what ends up happening is when you lift the front, you're actually applying more weight to the rear, and I don't want that. I need it to be as even as possible. So I will probably put airbags on this truck just so I can help to manipulate and keep it where I want it. So it's really set up well. It should work well. As you can see, you save a lot of weight with this open center and the engineered frame. I'm not a big fan of the toolbox. He stuck a toolbox right up in here. This isn't exactly ideal for this toolbox to be up in the neck. I would have went with a shallower one and wider. I don't like this because when you open this up and it falls down, it really pinches you between the tailgate. So I'm not a big fan of that. I went over drop leg jacks. Don't care for those lights. All the wiring is in this little square conduit. That's kind of nice, helpful. Even though it's going to chafe on this edge. I mean, they should have put some loom over that because that'll just sit there and rub the whole time you're driving. So we'll address that. We'll probably take loose all the wiring and we will, see if you can see it over there. It's probably butt connected in there. We'll take it all apart. We will solder and put deox over top of the solder, and then we will put heat shrink over top of that and then put it back in. And then there's where the torque tube ends. You can see there's some paint coming off here and there, but actually for the year of this trailer, this is actually in very good condition. It may not seem like it to you guys, but it really is. So and we're back down to here. Like I said, I'm gonna run these axles until we have a problem. If I do have a problem, I'll replace these axles with 8,000 pound oil bath. These are greasable. Right behind that rubber cap there is a grease fitting, and the spindle is drilled and ported at both bearings, so you can get grease into your bearings every so often. But it's a pretty good trailer for what I want to do. The ramps are nice and long. I don't know how long they are, but I guess I got a tape measure. We could find out. They're about, wow, they're about 6 feet long. Is what the ramps are. So that's pretty cool. I like that real well. If I get around here, it's got tail lights in the back. They're up inside the bumper so they won't drag. Then they have the cornering lights here. You can't see these from the back of the trailer, or from the truck. You can't see the back of the trailer. Those lights will replace because they're little cheapies that I don't like. And then what we'll do here on the front of the fender is I'll take a piece of box tubing, bring it out here, cap the end of it, put a red 3/4 LED light here and a red here so I can see I want to be able to see the outermost edge of the trailer. Midway turn signal will change that out. Everything will go LED, but you can see, I mean, it's in pretty good shape. They've used it very little, and one of the things I look for in this trailer is this is the weak point. This is a piece of 3/8 angle, and it goes from the bottom all the way up to the top. Okay, so what I'm looking for in here is any stress cracks or paint spiders or anything like that in this area where it may have been bent, overloaded or something like that, and there isn't. And it's got some really good welds up in this area. And let's see, it's kind of hard for me to show you all this, but you can see how that plate comes all the way down into the bottom frame, because this is the weakest, or the most stressed point, I should say. The spare tire's like brand new. It's never been on the road apparently, because I don't know if you guys can see that the nubs are still on it. How come it's not showing up in the picture, in the camera? Huh. Yeah, they're not showing up in the camera, but yeah, there you go. Maybe that works. Nubs are still there, so it's never been used. And the wiring's in good shape. There's only one light that's not working. And then also I look for any broken welds in this area, you know, or anywhere actually. I'm looking for broken. When I looked it over, I should say, I was looking for broke welds. That's a really nice weld in there. That's a real good weld. But I think this is where they had their skilled welders, and I think they had their beginner welders on some of the less critical places. You know, that's still okay, but there are some welds on here that are a little less than stellar. Trying to find a good one to show you that's kind of boogered. It's actually got some pretty good welds here and there. There's a little bit with spatter in it, but I guess that doesn't matter. It's just fine. There's a crack in the paint. I originally looked at that and thought that was a cracked weld, and I can actually take and chip the paint. It's not the weld, it's just how thick that paint is right there. But these are, you know, below the surface, so you can drive over top of them. So I can put a dually on here if I need. I gotta tell you, if I was putting a dually on, I don't think I'd be going past up there. This trailer I don't think is gonna handle that. Not a dually diesel anyways. So anyways, that's it. That's the truck, that's the combination. We're making progress, you know. This is kind of the setup I wanted to use. Hoping it's going to work. Like I said, the GVW and the axles, what I'm loaded at, is going to be crucial on this truck. It's going to be tight, but we'll make it work. If it don't work, well, I guess we'll do something else. But it should be the right combination. We will see. So I just thought I'd bring you up to date. We're making progress. So we're going to pull all the wheels and hubs off of this. We'll check all the brakes, repack all the bearings, replace whatever needs to be replaced, fix all the lights. I'll order up all new tires. I think for this go round, I'm probably just going to put the same 16-inch 235/80 16s on, but I'm going to see if I can get the 16 ply. I think these are 14s if I can remember correctly. I'm going to try and get the next step up. These typically are E's. I'm going to try and get to I believe F's is what they are. So it'll be interesting. And I'm not going to the bigger tires for more capacity. I'm going to the bigger tires for tire wear, because the heavier ones that I'm talking about seem to wear better than the load range E's, and those are just China tires, you know, typical trailer tires. So I'm gonna head out Monday. I'm gonna get the titles and title transferred, get plates on it, and get it serviced, and we'll be ready to go. So who knows? Hopefully we'll be seeing this truck going on the road, picking up some really cool projects. Alright guys, I'm going to leave you at that. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Leave your comments down below, and we'll catch you on the next one.